Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's right. We're talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Dude, long names. Why? It's such an inconvenient name. I don't know why in the world you would name it that. It's so annoying. Anyways, it was released in 2024 and directed by Guy Ritchie. Well, I don't know what kind of name that is, but let's just get right into the 10 essential aspects of a movie. First is plot. Does the movie follow a comprehensive story arc and is plausible within the world that has been created? I mean, it's a true story, so, I guess it's plausible, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's just like another World War II movie, and it'll satisfy that itch if that's what you like. One thing I'll complain about the plot is I don't like when they make people seem stupid, and the Nazis may have been, crazy, but they weren't stupid. And a lot of moments in this film, you feel like Nazis are just bumbly idiots, and that's just not really true. So, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I didn't like that. Second is attraction. Does the movie have an interesting premise with a high entertainment value? I don't know if I'd say high. I mean, if you like World War II movies, you'll like this one. So, I don't know if it's high. It has an audience, Third is theme. What message or truth is the movie trying to convey? I don't know. I don't think it really had a truth or message to convey. I think it was just kind of, like a shoot 'em up movie for fun. Fourth is dialogue. Is there a real feel to the conversations? I mean, the movie didn't necessarily need a real feel based on how it was established in the beginning. But, the jokes in this movie, I just feel like if you enjoy Minion memes, you'll probably like the humor. I mean, I feel like the humor is just older. It's kind of millennial. It's for older people. I think they might find it funny, but honestly, I personally just did not find it funny. Fifth is acting. Are the characters convincing? Again, the movie doesn't really need good acting. It's got some somewhat good actors in it, but I just feel like there's nothing to stretch. There's nothing emotional in this movie for you to really cling on to and be like, wow, that was some good acting. They just did what they needed to do. Six is cinematography. Is there creative use of lighting, setting, and wardrobe to convey emotion? I mean, not really. Not really for emotion. This isn't a very cinematic movie. The most cinematic part is probably the action sequences, which there's a fair amount of. And I feel like that's what this movie was riding on, was action sequences. And I don't know, they felt kind of mundane to me. They just felt okay. There was nothing special about them. They were just really average. Seventh is editing. This is all about the pacing of the movie. The movie is about 2 hours. Dude, it's way too long. I don't know where the 2 hours went. I don't know how they even managed to get it to 2 hours. It should have been an hour and a half movie. There's just minutes that go by that are just pointless in this movie. I don't know where it went. You would think with all that time you'd be able to establish some characters that you kind of care about. And honestly, you just don't. I don't know why or where the time went with this movie. Eighth is soundtrack. I don't even remember if this movie had music in it. I'm sure it did, but I mean, I guess it wasn't really that memorable. Ninth is directing. Directing is kind of the catch-all of the previous 8 sections. I feel like the director is in charge. They're the one that has to give that final say and put it all together to make a good movie. Now, Guy Ritchie has been filming for a long time. This is his 15th directing film. He's directed 14 films before this, so bear with me on this list. So he's directed Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Swept Away, Revolver, Rock and Rolla, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, A Man from U.N.C.L.E., King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, Aladdin, The Gentleman, Wrath of Man, Operation Fortune, whatever the rest of it is, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, and finally, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This dude, based on this movie and the previous movies, he's just like the Tony Romo of directing. He's just good enough to keep the job. He doesn't make box office disasters, but he's also not good enough to give you a memorable film. I haven't heard of a lot of these, and I feel like they're probably not that great based on this movie. They're probably just average. So, I would say it's probably time to call it quits. It's just, he's not that great of a director, but he just doesn't make bombs. 10th is time. Does it stand the test of time? I do not think this movie will stand the test of time. I think that's kind of obvious from the review. It's just okay. Like, it's a very forgettable movie. I feel like, honestly, in 6 months, you'll forget that this movie even came out. So, no, I don't think it'll stand the test of time. Okay, for the review section. Now, Rotten Tomatoes critics give it a 72. Audience gives it a 93, amazingly. And then IMDb gives it a 73. I don't know why everyone's so hooked on this movie to give it a 93. It's definitely not a 93. I mean, I guess it delivers on its premise. It's just an action World War II movie, so if you like that, if you like kind of a non-serious tone as well, you'll enjoy this movie. I personally don't even think I can really agree with the 70s. I think this is more of like a low 60s kind of movie. It's just not that good. It's not terrible, but it's not memorable. I'll probably never watch it again. So, all right, now for the rankings. For 2024 on the entertainment side, I'm actually going to put it third, just below Ghostbusters and above Frogman. But you know what? You were close. You were close this early to being passed by Frogman. Frogman was at least so bad it was kind of funny. But Ghostbusters, I mean, I would never watch either movie again. I feel like they're very similar, but I would probably watch Ghostbusters before this one just for the Ghostbusters name. Now for cinematography, I'm actually going to put it second. It's nowhere near Civil War, but it's also I just give it the step above Ghostbusters just because it at least had a focused narrative where I feel like Ghostbusters was kind of all over the place. For the decade of the 2020s, it's the exact same list on both sides just because I haven't done a movie outside of 2024 yet. And for all time, it's actually going to be 6 on entertainment. Again, kind of the same lineup as 2024 for the same reasons. And then on cinematography, it's going to be 5th. Again, kind of the same reasons. So, not much to explain there. That's all I've got for the longest title in the world. Please leave a comment on what you think I should watch next. Otherwise, I'm Mr. Majoritarian. Stay classy, San Diego.